It took me a lot to get the strength to make this video because mentally I have not been well because of everything that has gone on. And I feel like this video is really important, and that's the whole reason why I'm making it, and that's the whole reason why I was trying to push myself to make this video. But the reason why this video is kind of late is because this is a situation where it heavily affects me and everyone around me. It affects me in more ways than one. So I definitely have like an emotional attachment, an emotional tie to subject matters like this. And I want to come off in a way, even though it's not my job to teach anybody, and I want to make that clear. It is not my job to teach anybody anything. I'm not getting paid for this. But at the same time, I don't know who I'd reach. I don't know how many voices will be inspired by me or heard by me. I don't know. So I'm going to try my hardest to be as calm and articulate as I can so that this message comes across in a really good, positive light. I'm going to try really hard, but I also need y'all to understand that if I do happen to get agitated or I do tend to get upset and a little reckless in my language, I need you to understand where I'm coming from, like where all of this anger and emotion is coming from, because this is something very serious that has literally just made me get into a really bad headspace, and I need to let it out, and I need that to be said. So for those of you that don't know me, this is probably like the first video that you've seen on my channel. Quick introduction, I'm Tassi. I'm 22 years old and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't usually make videos like this on my page, but like I said, this is something where it heavily affects me and I need to say something. I don't have the biggest platform, but I have a platform and I'm gonna use it because at this point I'm irritated and I'm tired of this. Like I am literally so tired of everything. We all know about George Floyd. We all know about the protesting and the looting that's going on in, today's day and age. Like we're witnessing it. We know what's going on, okay? It is extremely upsetting that this is happening. It is extremely upsetting that this is like becoming normal. The only thing that I'm really happy about is that more people are paying attention, more people are listening, and more people are being active and getting the word out there so that this can attempt to change. But nonetheless, it still is something that pisses me off and really messes with my mental. I'm gonna just call it what it is. I have not been outside and protested, not one time, for George Floyd or Black Lives Matter. And it's not because I don't care. It's not because I'm scared. It's not because anybody is holding me back from doing so. I am only not going to protest because I am so angry and tired of shit like this happening, to the point where nothing that I want to do to get my message across is going to be peaceful. Not a single thing. And I know that certain situations, they're setting it up so that people can react. black people especially. I know they're setting up certain situations so that black people can react a certain way, so that it can be portrayed on the media that all black people are reckless and they act like this and they're nothing but thugs and gangsters and all of this other stuff. I get that, and I'm telling you, even though I know, logically, I know that that's what's going on, and I know that that's a thing, the rage and the sadness that I feel in my body, I am going to give them exactly what they want. Because I'm literally, I don't know how many times I have to say it, I am literally so pissed. I am so tired at this point that this keeps happening. And the reason why I'm tired, of course, it's because I'm black, but to really put it into perspective, because I don't think y'all really understand. I don't think y'all really understand what I mean by me being irritated and tired. February 27th, 2012. That was the day that me and a few of my other classmates found out that Trayvon Martin was murdered. A teenager was murdered for going to his father's house. A grown man followed him, stalked him, practically hunted him down. I will never forget that day. I remember my teacher. I will never forget that day. Mr. Bohannon, I remember that teacher. I remember him. Tall white man with no hair. He literally stopped class and we had a conversation about the death of Trayvon Martin for 20 minutes. This was a guy where, you know, I don't believe in, you know, tough people don't cry and tough people don't crumble. I don't believe in that. But this was a guy where he experienced plenty in his life, so where it's like nothing really fazed him anymore. That was the first time I had ever seen this man look like he wanted to throw up. He looked like he was defeated. And he had to sit there and look at each and every one of us in the face and tell us that the only reason why he was telling us this information was because he felt like it was important. Because Trayvon could have been any of us. Any of us. And it literally could have. I was 13. Actually, no. I was 12. And I was about to turn 13. Because my birthday is March 10th. I was 12 years old. Imagine being 12 years old and you hear that. Because it's not saying that police brutality and racism was just like gone. It didn't evaporate. It has always been there. It was always a thing. Okay? But it's like, as a kid, especially in the education system, they don't tell you the full story of black history, slavery, anything. They don't tell you the full story. They tell you the textbook story, and the textbook is usually like a chapter. And they move on and start talking about the Boston Tea Party and all this other stuff. They don't care. Imagine as a young child, low-key naive, and all these people, all these teachers, all of these instructors, they're telling you America isn't like this anymore. It was a mistake. It wasn't that bad. Nothing happened. They were ignorant back then. It's not like that now. And then the fact that they're not telling you the whole story on top of that, you are literally going to sit there and believe America isn't like that anymore. There's no reason for it to be like that anymore. We've progressed. That's behind us. That will never happen again. And you find out that this never went away. The worst part about it too is the fact that even though it's still not justifiable, this was a child. This wasn't a grown man at all. We had all heard about Rodney King at that point, and no disrespect to Rodney King or his family, because that is still devastating and that is still something that should be talked about and it should never be forgotten. But the fact that when we talk about police brutality and racism, and we mentioned Rodney King, because at that time he was the most current example, Rodney King survived. They beat the shit out of him, but he survived. Trayvon Martin, a child, a whole child, was murdered, hunted down. How do you process that at 13 years old? How do you understand that at 13 years old? How do you sit there and just move on with your life and be comfortable at 13 years old? Toughest teacher you know looks like his whole world shattered. Because whether you like your teachers or not, let's be real, your teachers are almost like your other parents. And you know, you look to your parents for guidance. You look to your parents for instructions. You look to your higher ups to tell you like what to do, and they're supposed to be the strong ones for you. Do you know what that's like to be 13 years old and the toughest person you know crumbles in front of your eyes? And they're telling you this story, and they're letting it be known that it could have easily been you. Do you know, can you even fathom what that feels like? Do you understand that? And I feel like that's the problem. When we talk about white privilege, people always think white privilege means that, oh, you've never had any issues, you've never suffered, you never had to feel anything. No. This, what I just said, is a prime example of white privilege. From the time that I was 13 years old, it has been dead body after dead body after dead body after dead body after dead body. And then the fact that this is, you know, the age of social media, it's being recorded, it's being photographed. And the fact that half of the time they know that it's being recorded and photographed, and they still do it. Do you know what that's like? To grow up as a black child and see people that are black children right along with you, and even black adults right along with you, consistently be murdered by the same people that are supposed to protect you. And then let's also talk about the fact that I was in public school. We literally used to have police come in our school just because. All those random searches, all of that. We always had police around us. Always. Do you know what that feels like? That these are the people that are supposed to look out for your safety, and they just murdered a man yesterday? Their brothers in blue just did this, and nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. They just sit there and just pretend like it never happened and try to justify it and all of that. Do you know what that feels like? Do you know what that feels like? Do you know what it feels like when you, for the first time in your life, are actually sitting down watching a trial because you're expecting for this to be handled? Because once again, the world is different now. The world has changed. We're not like this anymore. Do you know what that feels like to sit down and look at a trial and it is literally nothing but blatant racism? Like, they're not hiding it. Seriously, that whole entire trial always made me upset and brought me to tears because there was no hesitation. There was no hesitation to be racist. Every single person in that courtroom questioning the witnesses and all of that, they were racist. Do you know the heartbreak that I experienced along with thousands of other people just like me at that time? Do you understand the heartbreak that we had when we found out that George Zimmerman was found not guilty? Do you understand the pain that this man is still walking around, damn near has a fan base, getting paid for killing somebody, for taking away someone's child? Do you understand what that feels like? Do you understand how hard it is to sit here and watch this almost every single year? Somebody is murdered. There's something racist going on. They're killed by a racist person. Like, do you know what that's like as a child? Because growing up as a child, you don't have a voice, really. You don't have the right to really have a voice. Your parents damn sure aren't going to let you march and protest and all this other stuff. Half of the schools, they don't even want you to protest. They don't even want you to do anything. They want you to pretend like it never happened. they're barely ever going to talk to you about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, my teacher, he came to us because he felt like it was important. There was no announcement. There was no assembly. There was no nothing. And I went to a predominantly black school. They pretend like it never happened. Do you know what that's like? You're upset. You're scared. You don't know what to do because you feel like you just stepped into the twilight zone. And nobody is there for you. Nobody can defend you. Nobody can really sit down and explain this to you. Nobody can do anything. And it's year after year after year after year that you keep seeing these dead bodies and these videos of these dead bodies just completely circulating, and people making challenges out of it. And even people, because I was one of those people where, like, even though I went to a predominantly black school, it was also a little bit a cultural blend too. So it's like, I had white friends. And to sit back and realize that some of my white friends came from racist backgrounds, or that some of them were possibly even racist themselves and completely insensitive to the issue, do you know how heartbreaking that is? A child. And I will admit, like any other 12, 13 teenager, you know, we did have a tendency to think that we were old enough to know better and know everything in life, and we don't. I'm 22 years old, and I'm just like still trying to navigate and find my way and figure things out. But even as that age, even though at that age you really thought that you knew everything there was to know, at the end of the day, you're still a baby. You're still a child. You're still ignorant to a lot of things and a lot of processes. To be that young and to have to deal with that at such a young age is never something that can be processed properly. Nothing good can come out of things like that. To be that young, and consistently see dead body after dead body after dead body, and every single time it's always an injustice. Not one person has really been convicted. Not one person has really gotten justice for their death. Not one. People pretend like it never happened. Like, how do you not get mentally exhausted by that? Because, you know, then they like to talk about black on black crime. Let's talk about it. So I have to deal with the fact that the police are murdering people. That everyday people that live in neighborhoods are murdering people that look like me. And if it was me personally, they wouldn't hesitate to kill me. So while I'm dealing with that, I'm also dealing with black on black crime, the violence that's in my neighborhood. I'm dealing with that on top of that. Do you know what that does to a person? Do you not understand why I'm upset and why so many people are upset and tired? Do you really not understand that, or are you just pretending not to understand? Like, my life is literally on the line, especially today. My life is literally in the hands of other people, to the point where I don't even know if I should do anything. Because I already know that if I step out of this door, I have no other choice but to defend myself. I have no other choice but to show my ass if need be. Because there is nobody here that's really going to protect me and take care of me. We got a whole ass pandemic outside. There's racism in the medical field. So if I do get sick, that hospital isn't even going to take care of me. So it's like I'm literally at this point. I'm literally at this point in my life where the world wants me dead. I worked so hard for so many years to get myself out of the headspace of feeling like my life is pointless and worthless. I never made an actual suicide attempt, but I thought about it and I practiced it multiple times throughout my life. I worked so hard to find a reason to live. And the moment that I feel like I have a purpose and my life is not stupid and worthless and in vain, The moment that I finally find the confidence in myself to not want to die, the world wants me dead. The president wants me dead. The hospitals want me dead. Everything wants me dead. And they won't hesitate to do it. I have every damn right to be upset. Because I'm upset to the point where I'm not even scared anymore. I want revenge. I want karma. I want all of that. And I'm not the type of person to ever wish bad on anybody, because I believe in karma and I believe in putting things into the universe that's going to come back to you. But at this point, I'm literally sick of it, because it just seems like you do the right thing. You do everything by the book. You do the best way possible to be okay and calm and just a good person, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It gets old really, really quick. Really damn quick. Okay? Like, I literally have not been okay. I have not been okay since this whole entire thing started. It's like, I don't have money right now, because there's a whole ass pandemic going on, and things are slowly starting to open back up. The pandemic is being handled completely dumb. Completely dumb. I can't go outside and work. I can't get my life together the way that I'm supposed to. I was actually supposed to be taking summer classes right now. I couldn't even do that properly. I'm stuck in the house with my thoughts. That was already bad enough for me. That was already like the icing on the cake. That was already it. I was already suffering mentally because of the pandemic and the fact that I had nowhere to go and I had no money and I had no nothing and I couldn't go out and do much of anything. Now I'm stuck in the house with nothing to do but be on social media. And during a whole ass pandemic, these bitches still found a way to try to murder somebody. I have nothing to do. I have no other choice but to be distracted by TV shows and social media and games and all of this other stuff. That's all I can do right now. And you mean to tell me that on every single social media platform I have to consistently see someone die? I have to consistently see murder. I have to consistently hear that somebody cannot breathe or that somebody is slowly dying. I have to consistently hear these dumbass people try to justify it. I have to consistently explain myself. It is just, it's just so infuriating. It is literally so infuriating. I don't think y'all really understand. It is so fucking annoying at this point, because it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening, period. So with that being said, the amount of frustration that I have in my body right now, the way that I'm feeling right now, you really think there's not other people in America that feel exactly like that? Do you really think I'm the only person? We're all tired. My generation has literally grown up. We damn near had our childhoods taken away. We have to be cautious of every single damn thing now. Every single damn thing. We can't function as normal children, normal human beings, or nothing. Hell yeah, they're mad. Hell yeah, they're pissed off. I'd want to rip a door off of a fucking building too. I would. It's justifiable. I don't care. It's justifiable. I totally would. So I don't want to hear all of that, oh, we should have been peaceful, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I don't want to hear it, in case you still cannot process it in your head. First of all, let's talk about the black on black crime, since everyone wants to use that as an excuse and to derail the whole entire conversation. First and foremost, it shouldn't even be called black on black crime, because it's crime, period, point blank. And you know, the thing about the black on black crime that y'all don't understand is that at the end of the day, that is also an excuse to keep doing black on black crime. That's the reason why a lot of things are not properly reported and dealt with, because they don't care about black lives, even if it's black lives taking other black lives. They don't care. Second of all, it's the dumbest thing to ever say in your life in the first place, because you're literally saying, well, we kill each other all the time, so why can't they kill us? That's literally what you sound like right now. Literally. That's exactly the conversation that you're having. That's exactly what it sounds like. And you can't sit there and say it's not, because I don't understand why I would sit there and say stop killing us, but at the same time we kill ourselves, so fuck it. I would never say that. I would never say that. I don't know anybody that would say that. Like, oh, you stabbed yourself in the hand on accident. Why don't you do it on purpose? Why don't you let me stab you? Does that make sense in any way, shape, or form? Does it? Does it? It doesn't. Then third of all, with that statement, you sound like a dumbass, especially because, plot twist, black on black crime has to do with systematic oppression just as much as all of this conversation is. It does. Because I have never heard of a black person killing another black person because they were black. I've heard of black people killing other black people because of money. I've heard of black people killing other black people because of, territory, technically, land, and, trying to take over certain places and cities and states and stuff like that. I've heard of that. I've heard them murder black people for the sake of respect, status, clout, whatever you want to call it. Does that sound familiar? Because this sounds awful familiar to me. Sounds really familiar. Sounds like, something real familiar that I've learned throughout history. But you tell me if I'm wrong. You let me know. At the end of the day, it's wrong, but they're not doing this because it's fun. They're not doing it because it's trendy. They're doing it because this is the system. This is it. We've already been taught that if you have money and you have a certain level and you have a certain amount of land and respect and all of that, you're untouchable. You're untouchable. You can be whoever you want to be. And considering the fact that we can never change the color of our skin, I'd rather have at least a little money in my pocket. I'd rather at least be respected enough to where if something were to happen to me, people would ride for me. I would at least want to have that. Now, once again, I'm not condoning it, and I'm not saying that it's okay, and it definitely is an issue that we need to talk about within our community. But the fact that you're really sitting here, like the coon that you are, going out of your way to say, what about black on black crime when we're talking about these people killing us? That's dumb. That's dumb as hell. I actually saw a post where this girl really said black lives don't matter unless it's by a police. Y'all don't care when it's other black people killing black people. We don't? We don't? As unfortunate as it is, let's be real. If you have a sibling or a family member or whoever you know personally close to you that has passed away due to another black person, whether they were a police or not, you didn't care? Just let me know. You didn't care? You didn't care that they passed away? Because I'm at that age now where, like, literally people from my childhood are dying. Because that was another thing that messed me up emotionally too, because even though I wasn't close with these people, at the end of the day, we went to the same school, we lived in the same neighborhood, we rode the same buses. I've heard your voice before, I've seen you walking, breathing, talking, all of that, and now I have to get comfortable, which I will never be comfortable with, but I have to get adjusted to the fact that you will never be able to do that again. And we're all pretty much in the same age bracket or younger. I'm watching people younger than me die, get murdered. And you mean to tell me we don't care? We don't care? So what are the t-shirts for? What are the RIP posts for? Why is everyone grieving then? Why is everyone upset? Why is everyone saying long live such and such? If we don't care, that wouldn't be happening right now, sis. So what are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? And please make sure you say it clear. And then even with the whole idea of, oh, looting isn't the answer because we look exactly like the stereotype. Shut up. Shut the entire fuck up. And I mean it. First and foremost, let's talk about how the looting even started. First and foremost, where it all originated from. That particular target directly supported the police of that city. Directly supported. Do you know what directly means? Yeah. Financially, directly supported the same police, same precinct, same everything as the person that was murdered. And on top of that, when they were peacefully protesting and getting tear gassed from peacefully protesting, that same department, that same target, refused to sell them any milk or any other supplies so that they could heal the people that got injured, so that they could take the tear gas out of their eyes. That was the reason for the looting. Nobody was looting because it was fun. Nobody was looting because they wanted a free TV and a mattress and some lamps and all that other stuff. That's not the reason they were looting. That's not the reason. Sorry that you only watch the news and you're not really invested into this unless you want to play devil's advocate. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for that. And let's also talk about the fact that half of the products that were even looted, they were looted because people needed help. People needed food and supplies because, once again, this is all going on during a pandemic. During a pandemic. We got $1,200 a family, $1,200 a person that was supposed to sustain us. And for God knows how long, because this dumbass didn't know how long this was gonna last either. That was supposed to support us all the way until God knows when. People needed medicine, supplies, all of that. Half of the people that were looting, they were literally looting food. They weren't looting TVs and all that other stuff. Some were, but for the most part, that wasn't done. So all that food and all the stuff that they were looting, they actually were donating it, giving it out, helping homeless people because they were left out of the equation during the pandemic. Like, they were doing as much as they could. This wasn't in vain. This wasn't for the fuck of it. This was a reason. Second of all, besides Target, all these other places that are getting looted and destroyed and disheveled and all of that, majority of these places have been openly against Black Lives Matter to begin with. A lot of these places have been bigots from the jump. They've supported Trump. They've supported any crazy thing that you could ever think of. They've been doing this. They are $1 million corporations that underpay their employees. You think I give a fuck? Do you really think anybody gives a fuck about a few busted windows and products missing? You literally can just replace that. Because you had to replace it anyways. Once again, hello, pandemic. There were people literally going bankrupt and going out of business. You had to make up for that in the first place. You're not losing anything. So you're not going to go on the news and make it seem as if, oh, the looting is just putting us out of business. No. Your president put you out of business because his dumbass didn't know how to effectively deal with the pandemic. Those looters didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. They probably took like 2% of your shit. But all in all, they had nothing to do with it. Blame your fucking president. And then, while we're even on the topic of Target, let's really get there. Do you remember all these people showing their asses when they allowed transgender people to use their bathrooms? They said if you identify as a woman, you can go into the woman's room, and if you identify as a man, you can go into the men's room. You remember how people showed their asses? You remember when they did that? You remember when they had gay pride stuff all over the store? And there were people literally saying that they would boycott all these companies and they would do this, that, and the third. And, oh, there's a gay agenda and they're trying to wipe kids' brains and all this other stuff. You remember how bad you showed your ass and now you care about Target? Now you care. That's funny. That's real funny. Y'all burnt Nike products and boycotted Nike. because a nigga kneeled. He didn't do anything but kneel. Y'all had a problem with that. Now you're upset. Now you're upset because $1 million corporations are getting looted. The same $1 million corporations that you literally just protested against. That you literally burnt their shit. You literally just defamed their character. You did all of that. But the looters now, they're the problems. They're reckless. They're crazy. And this isn't the way to go about it. This is not the way. Not the way at all. That's funny. And then, if we really want to take it there, it's already been proven that half of these looters that are taking these TVs and lamps and all of this stuff, they're not even the black people. They're white. There's a lot of black people that are literally out here not even worried about half of these stores. White people broke into vans. White people were burning things down. There were undercover police cops that were helping to push the narrative. It's already been proven. It is literally video, photo proof, everything. It's already been proven. So what are you talking about? Then, when it all come down to it, I already said my piece on the issue. They are angry. They're tired. Be happy that they're ripping doors off. Because all of y'all that got, my dad is a police officer and all that, be happy that your dad can go home. Be happy. Be real happy that you can see your dad at the end of the day. Be real happy. Be happy that they ripped the door off. Be real happy. Because the anger that I feel inside, that I know other people feel inside, sweetie, be real fucking happy that they targeted a target. Do you understand? Be real damn happy. Pray tonight. And going back to the white privilege, just previously, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place because I'm really highly upset. The worst part about it is the fact that even being a black person today, you feel bad for even sharing good news. You feel bad for even having a smile on your face, even though you want to smile so bad because this world is like literally trash right now. You feel bad for having these accomplishments right now. I just posted a video not too long ago. And I felt bad for even uploading that video, but I knew that I needed to upload that video because I had already promised y'all that that video was going to come out. And I know you guys were waiting for that. But even when I uploaded that video, I felt like shit. Why am I happy? Why am I smiling? Why am I not making a video about George Floyd and everything that's going on? Why not? How do you make me feel guilty for something that isn't even my fault? At the end of the day, you know exactly why people are angry. You know exactly why they have the reactions that they have. You know exactly the reason for all of this. And even if you don't fully believe in it, at the end of the day, let's not play like we're dumb. Let's not play like we're fucking dumb. At the end of the day, you know exactly what is going on. Okay? That's all I really have to say on the matter. I just had to get that off my chest. And I just had to make a video because I just felt like it is so unjust for me to just sit here and just not say anything. Even though I know my platform isn't that big, it's just not, it just wouldn't have sat right in my spirit if I didn't speak out and say something. I will leave some links down below for petitions and people that you can call to help out with the movement. I will leave as much information down in the links below, as much as I can, as much as I possibly can. Moral of the story is, you're either with us or you're against us, because at this point, it's time for a change. The shit's getting old. People are getting upset. People are getting tired. I'm tired. It's annoying, okay? And please, anybody that is struggling with their mental health right now, I totally understand. I 100% understand, because I literally am like going crazy and damn near suffering. And I need y'all to please be mindful of your mental health. I need y'all to please just take as many meditation breaks and breaks from social media as you possibly can. And I know it's hard because you don't want to miss any news and you want to play your part as much as you can, but please be aware of your mental health. Do not let this overcome you. please try your hardest to not let this overcome you, because we don't need any more Black lives dying right now. We need to support each other. We need strength. We need things to be in order. And also, make sure that you are including women and LGBT youth in these conversations. They are not forgotten about. Their Black lives matter just as much. Please include them in your conversations. Because even though it doesn't seem like it and people don't talk about it and nobody is really making you feel that way, I can only speak for myself. I hear you and I see you, okay? I'm not leaving you out of the conversation. I won't. So I need you to understand that your lives matter just as much as everyone else's. You know, the sad thing, in any other normal video, you know, people would put RIP at the end. It's so many people that died that I can't even sit here and really say every single last one of their names, because this might fuck around and be a whole hour video. That's tragic. That's really tragic. So all I can say is I pray for a change, and a change will come. If you are just as tired as I am, get your ass up and do something.